MG has had a tricky rebirth into the UK market, but the electric era offers the brand another chance for a total reinvention, and what better place to start than a comfortable, well-equipped and practical pure electric family SUV costing just £25,000 and delivering an official range of 163 miles.
Well, quite. What better place? After all, MG seems to have produced a car that is more practical yet way cheaper than the established rivals like the Nissan Leaf, the Hyundai Kona Electric and the Kia e-Niro. And not only that, but it looks pretty good. Derivative, definitely. I mean, I can see Mazda, Mercedes, Hyundai, Ford and more in there. But at worst it's inoffensive and at best I think it looks pretty smart. And for that really low price, you even get semi-autonomous driving, you get touchscreen nav system, keyless entry, so all the stuff that people are going to want. It does look like this car could really shake up the pure electric affordable family car class. So let's find out if the MG ZS EV is as good in reality as it seems to be on paper.
The MG gets a 44.5 kilowatt-hour battery that you charge up by plugging in via the CCS or Type 2 socket hidden beneath a panel in the nose of the car. You get an impressively long 8-metre Type 2 cable as standard and a 3-pin cable that allows you to plug into a normal UK domestic socket. Connect it to a normal 7 kilowatt home wall box or charger and you'll have a full battery in 6.5 hours, while a normal domestic socket will do the job in some 17 hours. The ZS EV is also capable of charging at up to 50 kilowatts from a CCS fast charger, which will deliver 100 miles of range in around 30 minutes. That is a bit disappointing though, since many of the MG's, granted more expensive rivals, can charge twice as quickly as that. There are some other frustrating aspects to the MG's charging. For a start, the external light that tells you when the car is charging or if there is a fault is very faint and difficult to see in daylight. There's also no option to set time charging parameters to allow you to easily take advantage of late night off-peak tariffs, and there's currently no phone app connectivity for remote control of the charging and cabin temperature. What you do get is a 7-year, 80,000 mile warranty that covers the car and batteries, and those cells are water-cooled to improve charging performance and longevity.
We'll start with the range because that tends to be what most people worry about with pure electric cars. Now, the ZS has got a 44.5 kilowatt hour battery and we are getting efficiency of 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, and that figure is effectively MPG for electric cars, and what that equates to is a range of about 160 miles in fairly sedate but mixed driving that we've been doing, and that's actually pretty impressive. It's right up there with the Nissan Leaf, the smaller batteried Hyundai Kona, all of the cars that you could compare this to, so MG have done a good job on that front. It's also not bad to drive, you know. It's got a 141 brake horsepower electric motor powering the front wheels. Of course, there's no gearbox, it's a direct drive, so it's one seamless build of power, and it's really nice. It actually feels quite nippy up to about 40 miles an hour. The 0 to 62 of 8.5 seconds is nothing to write home about, but in general, the MG feels precise. You can place it on the road really easily. It's just very relaxing and easy to drive, and that's exactly what people will want. Ride comfort could be a bit better. It's just a bit lumpy, to be honest. It never really quite settles down as much as you want, and probably more annoying is the fact that the suspension's quite noisy, so you get quite a lot of wheel rebound as you go over a pothole, and that makes a lot of noise. In fact, by electric car standards, this is quite an unrefined car, particularly at motorway speed. You get a lot of tyre noise, a lot of wind noise, and it's not that great for directional stability, which is to say you have to put a lot of steering input in just to sort of keep it in lane. It wanders around a little bit.
There are 3 levels of brake regen in the MG. The heaviest is quite intrusive and feels a bit jerky when you lift off the throttle, but the others are smooth and easy to modulate.
There are some really neat little touches in this car. It actually has a rev counter. It even has a red line. Completely unnecessary, but I like it. It's a neat detail. And I do also quite like the percentage power output, which is very Rolls-Royce in style, and I think that's quite neat too. So some nice touches, and like I said, not exciting, but absolutely fit for purpose in the way it drives. The MG is only available in 2 trims, but even the entry-level Excite model gets keyless entry, rear parking sensors, auto lights, and this 8-inch touchscreen, complete with Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The screen itself looks pretty good, and it's not too difficult to use either, so I think that's all kind of a win-win. However, I reckon most buyers are going to step up the extra £2,000 to get exclusive, because that gets the roof rails, this very nice panoramic sunroof, and the leatherette upholstery, which is actually not bad, you know. In fact, I would say that the cabin feels pretty good. There's a few scratchy plastics up here, but other than that it looks really smart. The switch damping down here feels nice, although you will notice this is not actually climate control, it's just aircon, so you can't set a temperature, you just choose warm or cool and the fan speed, which is a bit old school to be honest. Not only that, but the heated seats, and I realise this is very #first world problem, but it doesn't have phasing, so it's just on or off, and it does get hot very quickly, so you might miss the sort of 2 or 3 levelled heated seats that you get in most rivals. Even so, materials feel decent, visibility's fine. I wish the driving seat went down a bit more, but other than that, I think MG have done a really good job up here. For the price, it's absolutely brilliant.
One glaring oversight on MG's nav is that it doesn't offer charging station search functions. However, you can search for petrol stations, so this does feel all a bit aftermarket and not very well thought out. Still, Google Maps is catching up with that, and with Apple CarPlay you can access that functionality very easily. And the MG goes some way to making up for it with the seriously impressive safety kit, including traffic sign recognition, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control and autonomous emergency braking, which combines to deliver a semi-autonomous driving mode. Go for exclusive and you even get blind spot warning and a system that tells you if there's a car coming when you're reversing out of a parking space. As equipment goes, safety, comfort or otherwise, you can't really argue with value for money here. There is plenty of room in the MG ZS to make this a decent small family car. It's roughly between a Nissan Juke and Qashqai in size, so you can easily get 2 adults in the back seats. The 470-litre boot is also big enough to take a couple of lightweight buggies or a big dog, and there's even a convenient underfloor space for the cables, as well as a variable boot floor.
There are some rough edges to the MG ZS EV that speak of serious cost cutting. So if you spend a lot of time in your car and you're considering this, I think those niggling annoyances probably will get to you. But if you only need that really decent real-world range for the occasional long trip and the rest of the time it's just short hops to the office or to school, it really is a decent package and it is absolutely well worth considering. Head to DrivingElectric.com for all of the electric and hybrid car advice, news and reviews you could possibly want, and check us out on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. While you're here, don't forget to hit subscribe on our YouTube channel.